Hey, what up?
Hey, dude. Give me a second.
Okay. You're trying in a new spot, huh? Light on or back?
If I do that?
No. Is it too dark if I leave all the lights off?
No, that fan creates that weird whatever, and I always figure I'll turn it off and then I forget, so it'll make it easier to not have a seizure.
Nice.
How are you, man?
Oh, good. Doing really well.
Good.
I'd say strong to very strong. How are you?
I'm working on it.
You got new trucker hats?
We've had this one for a little while. They're pretty good, right?
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah, I'd send you one, but we sold out of them. So
that's what happens.
If we make a second batch, I'll make sure you get one.
No worries. I got enough hats.
Yeah, well, that's how it goes.
I'm working on that one. But
trying to quit.
Trying to quit. Oh,
man.
T-shirt though. Hopefully, a certain amount of people mythically subscribe to our podcast, and then
we can get hats
mysteriously, not mythically. Yeah,
it could be mythic.
Yeah,
grand proportions or something.
Good week. It's good to be back with you guys, though.
I know. I like the rhythm of it.
I do too.
I've got to make sure I haven't totally forgot to do my list. I need to double check.
Okay.
I had a crap week, so this is gonna be a weird one.
I had a real up and down week. Crazy. Yeah.
That is crazy. Hey, there's B.
BB.
Hi.
ABC.
What up, B?
I don't think I've got a 5 yet.
Bianca Kizada.
Is that going to be a problem?
Well, only when we get to the ones where we ask you for the fifth one.
Oh, you're right. Gosh, you're so right.
We were just talking about this, though, actually.
What?
That both of us have had, like, super weird weeks.
Yeah.
Or not weird weeks, but like that. I don't know. Jason was having it up.
Grateful for.
Yeah. It was real up and down, real high highs, real low lows. Mine is, I have one thing I'm really grateful for, and then all the other things are kind of dwarfed by it. So it's a very lopsided. And should I start with that one? I think I'm just going to start with that one, and then say other things.
That. Totally up to you, man.
I think it's up to I'm not the. I can't hold on to secret like. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You're just gonna hold it until the last one.
Yeah.
I don't think that can happen.
Okay, this is the real one.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know, man. I just it's still going just back to like, oh, what have I watched? What have I read?
That's fine. That's good. That's something.
Yeah. I need to be more of like aware of what's going on.
Listen, that's true.
And yesterday was a watch. Yesterday was a shitty day, so none of that's gonna make it.
I know, that's what I've had a few of those.
Yeah. I'm like, well, that was 24 hours. I could have been doing something cool, but I don't know. Today is not gonna be like that though. I've already determined.
We should do one just laying down your dreams.
Just like, what?
Yeah,
laying down your dreams.
Yeah, 5 ways that you got crushed this week. Yeah.
Oh man,
I think that'd be an easy one.
Yeah.
I think another thing we should do. Maybe we should do. I sound a little like Greg with this, but maybe we should do like the 5 like great. What do you like about the new television shows, or what you don't like, or something?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say laments.
I haven't got to that yet. That's the worst part. I barely started to watch them. That's my grief this week.
Oh.
Like, come on, I can't even get to the shows yet.
Like the new stuff, you mean?
I know. I got all these new shows to watch. I haven't even watched them yet.
Are you ready?
I'm really close to ready.
BoJack.
No, not really. I started it finally, and I didn't get into it right away. I don't know.
Yeah. I was so funny. I was hearing my friend describe it to another friend at the same table, and he was like, you have to get through the first 6 episodes and then it really picks up. I was like, that's not like,
That's a lot.
don't
That's a
say
lot.
that to people. That's like not a selling point, but it's accurate. So if you're not into it by then just stop.
Okay, good. So that's because I watched the first 2 and I was like, I don't know.
That's 6. I was like, all right. I like it for the animal puns.
Yeah. All right. Well, I said I didn't watch any shows, and I got a couple shows on here already. So that's.
Have you seen that one? It's the woman from Castle, and it's on Amazon or it's on Netflix or Prime. I forget which one it is. It has something. She's like a detective, and she is held captive. Like the first episode, it's called like Disturbia, or I don't know. That's a weird name.
No, I've never heard of that.
I know what you're talking about. I haven't seen it. I don't know the name of it. But like,
I
didn't realize it was the same lady.
Yeah, I want to see if anybody's. Yeah, I started.
It's worth watching.
Yeah, we started the first episode, and it just starts brutal. And so it was with Malia, and Malia and I were like, oh, I don't know, but I want to know if it's worth it. Anyway, you guys haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
All right, let's go.
The Good Place. The Good Place started. I forgot about that.
That did start back up. See, you put that one on there.
Oh, did you?
No.
Okay.
No,
I didn't like it.
I haven't got into it. I watched the whole first season and I did not enjoy it at all. So
I got really good the second season.
That's what everybody says. I haven't got back to it yet.
But I like the first season, so I don't even know I can't even get in your place right now.
That's all right.
I was typing the word
is
place.
It's just a death trap right now. So steer out of there. Yeah, just stay out of that.
Okay, we'll try this out. I don't know, man.
Right. Who's going first? How are we doing this?
I don't know.
I mean, do you want me to do the intro again?
I like that.
Okay, I don't mind doing the intro.
I like either you doing the intro every time or Bianca doing the intro every time.
No, that's not
I agree. Bianca does the best intros. There's no question about that. It's the most fun when Bianca does the intros. I don't think there's any question about that. All right, then.
All right, hit it.
And then who's going
first? B?
Jason. Okay.
Did you go first last time, B?
I did. That's the exact order that we did.
Okay, so Jason, you go first this time.
Perfect.
And then B will go second, and then I'll go third.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right.
Bam.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to This Week in Gratitude. We are glad you are with us. We are grateful that you are following along and enjoying these conversations. The way this podcast works is really simple. Jason in Los Angeles, Bianca in Seattle, and me, Greg, in San Antonio get together every week, and we talk about the things that we are grateful for from the last week. This usually is a list of 4 or 5 things that we really enjoyed or that we've been looking forward to or just events in our lives. And then we all get a chance to kind of share on that and reflect a little bit and see where the conversation takes us. We hope you enjoy it. If you do, please subscribe to it and please tell your friends about it. Both of those things would help us immensely. So please go ahead and do that. The deal is we're trying to get to a certain number because once we get to a number and somebody, oh boy, Jason's screen froze. I hope that's a frozen screen and not just Jason. Like, oh, it's just Jason. All right. Thanks, Jason.
I'm trying to take a picture. I saw you posted a picture, and all I could see is my head looking down.
Yeah.
And Bianca looking beautiful and smiling, and then your phone right next to the camera.
Sorry. You're trying to get it without that? I don't know. I failed. Yeah. Here's the deal, though. Once we get to a certain number of listeners, then Jason has this brilliant plan to have us sponsored by a hat and T-shirt company.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, but we have to get to that number. So please spread it around. Let people know. I was thinking about this because if you listen to our podcast and you laugh like twice, that's worth you not paying anything for it.
Yeah.
That feels like a trade-off, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you listen to it the whole time and you don't laugh twice, then I could see why you'd be mad. But if you listen to it the whole time and you laugh twice, or like you laugh once and then you have like one insight into your life, I feel like that's worth free also. So
yeah. Wait, what are you saying? How does this lead to T-shirts?
I'm just saying, like if you laugh twice at it and you realize, hey, this is good value for my lack of money I'm paying, I should tell other people about it.
Got it. You were on that one.
Like,
okay.
When my mom discovers a sale at Walmart, everybody she's ever met knows about this sale. And I'm just saying, why can't our podcast be like that sale?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're like Walmart.
That's what I was saying.
All right.
How are you guys doing?
I'm doing good. I'll get us going. Right about
Yeah,
that. What about
perfect.
them apples? We'll get straight into it. My first one is probably going to eclipse all the other ones
Boy.
because just this past weekend there's this this is lead up. This is lead up. There's a music festival that happens down. It's right by Doheny Beach, which is right in this cove where Dana Point Harbor, where boats, the harbor river, and these festivals, when they play this certain venue, there's no really reason to purchase tickets to the venue because it echoes all for miles over this bay, and people just camp out on the Doheny Beach. And the headliner was Eddie Vedder, and Beck was playing, and all these people are playing.
What?
But I'm a dad. You got a couple kids and all this stuff, and so I can't get down there ever. Like I'm just like trying to get down there. I can't ever get down there until like Friday or Saturday. I think it was Saturday, the day before Sunday. My neighbor owns a sailboat, and he says, "Hey, you want to go out with the family on the sailboat on Sunday?" And absolutely. And so my wife is all stoked. My kids are all stoked. We get down to Dana Point Harbor. We're cruising out of the harbor into this bay, into like this. I don't even know it's probably Doheny Bay. I don't know. And Eddie Vedder is just singing, and it's just it's bouncing. It's like a perfect, gorgeous day. And then we're on a sailboat. We cut the engine. Right as we cut the engine, it's just Eddie Vedder singing, and it was like a snapshot of heaven. And then we tack. Because we go for a little while. We're still hearing Eddie singing in the background. We tack, which means we turn. We do flip the sails and all that stuff, jibe ho, or whatever. And we see a shark. A blue shark. My wife, you guys both know, my wife that's the only reason she goes to the ocean is to look for life and sea life. And the pinnacle of that is sharks. She loves sharks. My wife is like, her dream is to get eaten by a shark after.
It's an interesting dream.
Like her. Like
that's true though. That's true though.
It is. It's crazy. Like that's how she wants to die. But we've had conversations about it, and it's not. It hasn't been thought through. But it was amazing. It was like Eddie Vedder on the radio, but like live on a sailboat. My kids playing. And we we see a shark. My wife is happier than she's ever been. It was fun. So I'm grateful.
Wow.
No doubt, dude. That's fantastic.
Yeah. It's all the rest is downhill.
I saw the pictures of that, man. Like,
yeah.
This looked like I just thought you were just like sailing. And I thought this is the most amazing thing ever anyway.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And we also saw a whale. Just a whale. Like, I never knew they did this. Sometimes they just sit with their snout out.
Huh.
Like it looked like a buoy, and then as we got close, it just went down. It then disappeared. It was crazy. We saw it twice. I think it was the same whale. Anyway,
when you started that story, I thought that sounded familiar. But the way it's spelled is Ohana, Ohana, and I thought it was in Hawaii. Because I thought, is that the one that Eddie Vedder was playing at? But I thought it was a different one.
Yeah, Ohana that's the name of that show, but it's maybe that's the name of the bay too. I don't know. Because it's Doheny is the name of the beach that's right by it.
Yeah, I went there when I lived there.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that story.
It was awesome.
I thought it might end with Eddie Vedder, and I was like, no way, that was Hawaii. But I never actually looked it up. I just assumed he was in Hawaii.
Next year, I gotta go to that with him.
It was an epic save because he played on Saturday night, I think it was Saturday night, and I was stuck. I had been out every night the whole week, and it was like and Adam was the guy who owns the sailboat, was going down to sit at Doheny Beach. And he was, anyway, he invited me, hey, you want to go sit down? It was like 8 o'clock, and the nighttime 8 o'clock. Yeah. Anyway, But Malia said, I know Bianca's going to not let me in this time. You're not going right now. She is going to be very angry with you. Eddie Vedder is 15 minutes away, and you can just sit and listen to him.
Going. I'm glad you went.
Yeah, but then we ended up going and sailing and seeing him, or hearing him. It was cool.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
that's great.
So that story would have gone exactly opposite of that if I had been there, because my wife does not like creatures in the ocean. That's like her greatest fear. So this would have gone exactly the other way.
Creatures in particular? Oh, creatures.
Any other life form. She does not like. She does not like. So a shark would have just that would have been the end of our night. That would have been a disaster.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, I can go.
That was awesome, Jason.
I know. Good job, Jay.
That's bizarre.
I didn't even write it down.
I didn't know Abby is part of your arch nemesis with Malia.
I know. Add it to the list, man. That's the thing.
That's bizarre. That's
I know.
You know.
I know.
It's the exact opposite. Anyway, keep up. Sorry.
Let's see. Let's let me get back onto it. Tonight I'm going to Beyonce, but that's not one of them.
What?
What? How can that not be one?
Because it hasn't happened yet.
You're going to see the Queen?
Yeah.
B meets B.
I know. It's gonna be very awesome. Okay, so but what I'm going to say, I know we're gonna run into each other on the bus.
Bianca doesn't go to Beyonce.
Lucky for Beyonce.
Beyonce gets Bianca'd.
Hey, when you see her, tell her about the podcast, would you?
I will. I
feel like if she likes it, that opens up a lot of opportunities for us.
2 words: paper airplane.
Yeah, from my very high seat. Yeah. Okay, let's see. I'll start with a TV show in that I think I've mentioned that I watched The Good Place before. I really like Michael Schur, who we also call Ken Tremendous around here. And I listen to his podcast. I follow him on Twitter, even though he stopped tweeting for very noble reasons. I just really like everything that he's doing. And so he also writes and does The Good Place, and I think it's going very well. And season 3 just started, and so I've watched the first episode. I think it's the only one that's been on. Is the first episode. Anyway, I just laugh out loud. There was one part of the first episode that made me laugh so hard, and it's with Jason, the dumb guy.
Yeah.
And it was like I can't even explain it because it's not even something he said. It's something he did in the show, and it got me so good. And so I just remember that. I really love that show. Okay, I'll tell you what it was. They're like doing a flashback, and he looks at 2 posters, and one is like, how to change your life for the better. And it's like this community poster. Oh, I'm going to ruin it. Anyway, then he goes and he's retelling the story in real time. And he's actually went to the second poster, which was about starting a dance crew. And he thought that was God speaking to him. It's like, I should start a dance crew. And anyway, it got me good. And I don't know if you guys watch it. I know Greg doesn't watch it. Maybe Jason does.
I totally do, but I haven't seen any of the new episodes.
Okay, I just spoiled one of the jokes for you.
Oh, great.
But anyway, so this is all to say I'm going to continue watching it. I do recommend this one, and I actually just recommend anything that Mike Schur is doing because he's just got a good head on his shoulders. I think he's really trying to put some good out into the world. And
oh, you reminded me of something, B. This is not one of my 5 best, but it's connected to Michael Schur. The podcast that they do.
That's what I listen to. I love that.
I know you love that one too. I'm hit or miss on it, to be honest, but when it hits, it's my favorite thing. And they had Nick Offerman on to
Did you do that
Dreams?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was one of the greatest podcast episodes ever. And then they picked states. They just drafted states.
Yep.
And they found out like 3 states in that Nick Offerman was just going to pick based on barbecue, which is really the best way to draft states if you're.
I know. That was such a good one. Yeah, their new segment is they pick a sports movie and then they ask a pivotal question about either the sports of it or just the movie making of it. And it's so great. The first one was League of Their Own. Did the older sister drop the ball on purpose when Dot came around? And they collided at home at the final scene. Oh man, I just love that podcast so much.
Yeah, it's a great podcast. That's a great episode of it. If you want to catch one, Nick Offerman's take on Field of Dreams is really fantastic
because he goes at it from a farming perspective.
Yeah, farming, directing, like. But his takeaway, his comeback to it is exactly the right response, which is it's unbelievable, it's unrealistic, and it made me cry like 6 times.
yeah. I'm glad you listened to that one.
Yeah, that one was great.
Okay, moving on.
All right, sorry. Okay, let's see. My first one is, if I don't do this one first, I'm going to get yelled at. So Tuesday was Abby's 40th birthday. So woo! I am now married to a 40-year-old. Which is pretty crazy. And I just wanted to, I was thinking about all the different ways I'm grateful for her, but I don't know. I don't have any really great funny ones. I'm just overall, almost always, I'll say, but mostly my fault, but almost always grateful for her. And she's an amazing mom and an amazing wife. And so anyway, shout out to my wife. Get to do that on the podcast every once in a while. So there we go. She won't listen to this or hear that I did, but I did do it. So as long as everybody lets people know that I did this, then it counts.
Yeah, it's recorded.
In fact, I asked her, like, do you ever listen to my podcast? And she's like, well, I hear you talk enough. And I was like,
that's It reminds me, my dad always says weird absolute statements that kind of make no sense. Yeah. But one of the times he said, it's one thing to be a grandfather. It's quite another to be married to a grandmother. and the way you said, I'm not married to a 40-year-old.
Yeah. I was like, you're also close to 40, Greg.
I'm well over 40
you
now.
Are. You had a big birthday.
I'm 41 now.
You had that birthday extravaganza.
Yeah, birthday extravaganza.
Quite another to be married to a 40-year-old.
That's fantastic.
You did say that really odd.
Really, sorry. I was trying to figure out how to get through it. All right. But the other thing that's crazy is when you stop to think about that, that Abby's 40 now means we've been married for almost half her life, the way the math breaks down. Oh my
gosh.
It's pretty nuts because it'll be 20 years in May. So I've known her for a long time and she's known me for a long time. So, which is better for me than it is for her, but that's a good, yeah. Anyway, happy birthday to my wife.
Yes, happy birthday, Abby.
So.
Excellent.
There we go.
I think my second is Jack White's thing on Prime, that concert where he goes to DC. I think he plays at a place in DC, and then he also surprises like some school and plays during their lunch hour, some high school, and just it's that concert because I always like watching Jack White play live and stuff, but it's also like the fact that music has such a ability to compound and trigger memories and kind of wrap all these things up in one. Because as I was watching, listening to it, the first thought I had was I win because my wife let me have a stereo in our bedroom and in the living room, so I have our TVs. Both of them I can play any music really loud. Anyway, so okay. That's my first thought. My second thought was when I first moved into our house in San Antonio. We had set up a TV, and I just bought the White Stripes DVD, and I just watched it over and over, whatever that DVD was. Yeah. And then the third thought was just concerts with you, B. Like we saw the Raconteurs in Austin, and then we saw the Dead Weather up in Pomona, and it was just interesting to be grateful for Richard Weber. He helped me move into that house in San Antonio, and I was grateful for our friendship. And then it was just all these. It was just a amalgamation or amalgamy or whatever. I don't know. Just a big ball of just positive, like reflections. And then I just was listening to the show. I love that. I love that music.
Oh, why.
You have a dog, somebody.
Yeah, my dog's awake now.
He's awake now.
So that's my 2.
Yeah, I feel that way exactly about Jack White in particular too. As weird as he gets, no one can ever say a bad thing about Jack White to me. Like I just won't listen to it. Jack White holds like so many memories, and
yeah,
I don't know. He is weird, and some of his music is a miss, but I don't care. I will always like seek out his stuff, and I just have good memories surrounding him and his bands.
And just a side note, he continually picks female drummers that are better than any men drummer. He's got this girl on the kit on this new one. I don't know. He's probably been playing with her for the last couple or something, but she's ridiculous. Like she's a really, really good drummer. Like she's next level. Like anyway,
I have a question. I was thinking about music and memory.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I had 2 questions about your thing, Jason. The first one is, do high schoolers like Jack White?
I don't think so.
That's why I was surprised. Like, we were like, yeah, he went to a high school. Because at first I thought elementary school. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. And then you said high school. I was like, that makes more sense. But then I was just running through high schoolers I know. I'm like, I don't know if any of them like Jack White.
No.
Yeah, what was their reaction?
It was like just some student band on the quad. You know, like everybody was kind of stepped back and like looking at him. But
yeah,
the coolest part of that is when he's describing, because there's also just like B footage and them talking about bands that came from DC, and then them talking about the experience of playing on this high school campus. And it was interesting as he was describing that, it's the same feeling that you get as a youth pastor or a college pastor as you walk on the campus. He said, I just felt a lot of angst or anxiety or tension, and I didn't know why. You know, like it's and he just put pretty good words to how it feels to be on a campus when you're way older than you should be. And the only reason you're there for us is to love people in the name of Jesus Christ, where he was there, you know, to rock, you know, in the words of Jack Black. So it boils everything down to purpose really quick, is kind of what he was getting at. Like he was like, I felt all these eyes and this tension, and that was a neat part of the documentary too, or this show.
Cool. All right, the other thing I was thinking about with music and memory, I think one of the places this happens for us the most is around TV show theme songs.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why that is, but like the second you hear a song that you know from a TV show, you're immediately like put back on your couch watching that show for some reason. What's your guys' favorite one?
Parks and Rec.
Really?
I get into it every single time I hear it. I just by the end I'm like drumming it, and like there are no words. I don't care.
That's a good one. It's a good one.
We I think we've done this before.
You and I probably have at some point.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
And I think
Parks and Rec was not the answer the last time. That's why.
That's the first one I thought of. I love that one.
I like either Detroiters or Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh yeah, I like Detroiters a lot as a current one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When I think of like old school ones, though, I probably go Cheers.
Yeah,
that's like a classic. And then Golden Girls is really good too.
The bass line on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, you know, when it switches, I love that. I love that theme song.
My brother made me an Adrian Pimento T-shirt for my birthday.
Is that from Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
From Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's amazing.
That's
just that. He's the guy who shows up like in like the 3rd season and marries Rosa and is just like super crazy. And I don't know. If you know who Adrian Pimento is, it's hilarious. If you don't, you know who he is. He's the guy he was also on The League.
Yeah,
he was Rafi on The League, and then he was doing some other stuff.
Is it
he's really funny. Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah,
he's hilarious.
He's in good place too. He's in good place. Oh,
do you remember that movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, when they're on the bus and Steve Martin's character starts to sing 3 tails and a lady, or something like 3 tails, 3 coins in a fountain or something like that, and nobody on the bus knows it, and then John Candy chimes in, Flintstones, meet the and the whole bus just erupts in knowing the song, you know.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That might be one of my favorites.
That's fantastic.
That was the point of like everybody remembers.
Everybody knows that.
Everybody knows that one.
Yeah, nice. I think Saved by the Bell is just criminally. If it starts, I'm like, I gotta sing the whole thing now.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Classic. All right, B, what's your number 2?
Let's see. Number 2. Okay, this is one of the ones I'm not necessarily recommending because it's probably not suitable for most ears. But there's a podcast I listen to, and it's all women hosts, and they talk about the news. And they bring up women issues. They swear up and down, and they're like, that's why it's not suitable for work. If you have sensitive ears to stuff like that, they don't care. So I enjoy listening to it because almost all the podcasts I listen to have at least one male host, or all of them are male hosts.
Yeah.
And so I just enjoy hearing women's perspective. They haven't once yet had even a male guest on. It's there's one main host named Erin. Oh gosh, what's her last name? Not Erin Andrews, because she's from ESPN. Anyway, and then she has friends that she'll invite in depending on the episode. And some of them are comedians, some of them are journalists, some of them, I mean, they're all kind of surrounded around politics in DC somehow. And so they are knowledgeable as well. And they're funny. And so I haven't even said the name of the podcast yet. No, sorry. It is named Hysteria. And anyway, Hysteria? Why is it called Hysteria? It's because women get called that a lot when they start bringing up issues that matter to them. They were called hysterical. So anyway, I like it. I'm maybe not recommending it for everyone, but I enjoy it because most of the podcasts I listen to have men hosts, which is fine. I mean, it's just more than average and more than is actually representative of the population. And so I got out of my way to find this one, and it's very good.
Nice.
In my opinion.
Listen, B listens to a lot of podcasts.
I do.
That are not ours. And and she always takes good things from them. And she has a sterling reputation on picking podcasts. So
I don't know about that.
If it's good, then it's probably at least listenable, I'd say. That's my guess.
It's listenable. It's well produced. But I'm just saying they don't care about your sensitivities on language or topics. So just be warned.
Oh boy. All right. All right. Perfect.
I want to try and listen. I'm gonna.
Okay. Now what have I done?
Now Jason's gonna listen to a podcast.
I'm gonna listen to a podcast just because Hysteria, also a great Def Leppard record.
Who can forget?
That might be why they chose that.
That's probably why they chose it. Yeah, that makes more sense.
But I'm in. I'll try a podcast. I'll make another shot at it.
I mean, you can. Right. But
while we're on things that are not appropriate, but we really love. I have to say, I've been like, this is like an overall cultural moment in some ways, but Norm Macdonald has a show on Netflix. Is the name of his show on Netflix. And I cannot believe how badly it's been reviewed.
Oh.
Like, I watched every episode like 3 times. Because they're hilarious. Like, it's the funniest thing I've seen.
Oh, you like it.
I loved it.
Is this your number, whatever this is?
Yeah, this is my number 2.
Okay.
It's so funny to me. I thought it was brilliantly funny. And then I keep reading reviews and everybody hates it. But then when you go to like Rotten, I just saw a thing yesterday. When you go to like Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb or whatever, on the audience score, it rates off the charts. Like the people who watch it love it, but the reviewers who watched it hated it. And so it's really a weird, like, it's a weird, like, strange space for it to exist. But I really, really liked it. So if you are into that kind of thing, it's Norm Macdonald. It's not going to be appropriate all the way through. Know that ahead of time. But if you are up for that, it is hysterically funny. It's actually like, I think it's like a almost like a master's class in how to tell jokes, because he does these like written jokes at the end that I think are really, really funny.
I think there's a separate category of great.
Yeah.
That divides people. You know what I mean? Like Norm Macdonald, some people absolutely hate him.
Yeah.
And I think that's true of Dylan, you know.
Yeah.
And I've been listening to a lot of Tom Waits lately. A lot of people hate Tom Waits,
Yeah.
but I think that increases the pleasure of those that like him. I think, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think it like when I listen to Tom Waits and people are like, the guy's faking it, and the guy's, you know, like it just it drives my love deeper. I think. And Norm Macdonald is the same way. I remember when he got fired from Saturday Night Live, and he was on some talk show. And that was the funniest bit I'd ever seen at some talk show. He just, the way he puts everything, the way he delivers everything,
Oh man,
it's phenomenal. It is so deadpan. It's crazy.
he
I
just
think
tells these amazing jokes that are like so funny. They do these like jokes at the end of every episode where he reads some, he has his co-host read some, he has his guest read some, and they're all like, they don't all work. Like a lot of them don't work, and you can see that they don't work. But there's times where he'll like stop and have them read it again and emphasize a different word. And it's like, oh man, this is just so good. It's like such a learning thing. But one of my favorite jokes from that segment is I once got trapped on a desert island, and the 5 books I brought didn't do me any good at all. So, anyway, that was so funny.
That's really funny.
So, all right, there you go.
That's good.
That's my number 2. Norm Macdonald has a show. If you like Norm Macdonald already, you're gonna love it. If you don't like Norm Macdonald, you might not like it. But I thought it was fantastic.
I think that's me, right? Will you go my third?
Yeah, I'm third. So you're next, Jason.
Okay, this is my third thing. This is a weird one. I'm grateful for Presbytery. I went to. I'm switching my ordination from St. Gabriel Presbytery, which is one presbytery north of where I'm living, to Los Ranchos Presbytery. In Los Ranchos is where I started, you know, because I started at St. Andrews and all this stuff. And I went to the Presbytery meeting just this last Saturday, and I was just going because I'm going to eventually. I've gone to the last couple just because I'm going to eventually be going to all of them. And once I switch my ordination over, once I meet with the committee on ministry and all that jazz, once I go through the right hoops. But I was at the Presbytery meeting, and the place where we worship at Northeast of the Well, we have 3 locations that we worship. 2 on Monday night, 1 in Anaheim, 1 in Newport Beach, and then the third is this church called the Little Brown Church or Little Brown Mission of Long Beach, and it's this property that the Presbyterian Church has owned, the PCUSA Church has owned. See, the PCUSA split over women in ordination, and then they recombined, like with the United Presbyterian Church and Presbyterian. I forget the 2 that came together, but the 2 came together. But in that split time, they have 2 buildings that are literally a block from each other. And one of them is this old looking, it's cool. I think it's one of the coolest churches I've ever been in, but it's in some serious need of like love and affection and attention, but it's just classic and cool. And then the one up the street is just kind of newer, and it's been kept up to date and kind of thriving. So a couple years ago, we started, or actually I think it was 5 years ago, they started renting it to us along with the Catholic Church. So the Catholic Church got the sanctuary, and so the sanctuary is all Catholiced out. And then we worship in what is the fellowship hall. And there's also this like hipster church called Rock Harbor. They use it. They launched a church called either Branches or Trees or something, Fireflies or something. And their youth group uses it in the middle of the week. And so it went before Presbytery to the trustees want to sell it because it's downtown Long Beach. It's worth millions of dollars, and Hilton, all these Marriott, all these people want to buy it. And then the people, the pastors and the people, part of Presbytery, don't want to sell it because people were, baptized there. People were married there. People, love this. And they see that this ministry that I'm involved in, and the Catholic Church ministry, and this other like hipster church are benefiting from just the space, and Peace USA is benefiting just tangentially in being involved with these out of boundaries ministries. And then so somebody asked, like, what can someone in this room tell us about what ministries are there? So I went to the mic, and this is actually what I'm grateful for. Mm-hmm. You remember when we first met, Zeke? Not Zeke, Greg. I met sitting at Zeke's desk. Greg, when you were explaining to me like why you love the Episcopal Church, and you said, I just love being involved in something bigger and older than me, you know?
Yeah.
And that's actually what I'm grateful for, because as I stepped into the mic, it's so uncomfortable. Like it was the first time I'd ever spoken at Presbytery, and you're supposed to just speak to the moderator.
Yeah.
So you're speaking from the crowd to the moderator, and just that.
So weird.
It made me look so dumb. I get to the mic and I'm like, I was like a moron.
You're like testing, is this thing on?
It was like somebody said, you're speaking too softly, and so I swallowed it. I turned it into like a comedy routine at the beginning, then I start talking to everybody, and then the moderator says, "No, just to me," and I felt like a little kid.
That's the whole point of that. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah, and so I think my gratitude is that I am a part of something bigger than myself, and it's good for me every once in a while to be humbled and remember I've been at this game, 10 seconds compared to how long the game's been going. Like it was just and then I ended up just telling them about the ministries that met there, and I kind of saved it, but I would say I did C+ at best, and then I sat down and wept. But but it was.
So what did they decide to do, Jason?
It was just good to be humbled. Actually, they're going to postpone it to the November 29th Presbyterian meeting, and so and I don't think they're going to be able to sell it, because it has to get a majority vote from the Presbytery. So no matter what the trustees decide, I don't think that's going to let it through. Which is and God can, like, if they do sell it, God's got plenty of places that He can move northeast of the well branches in this Catholic church. But the Father Rodrigo, the dude that is there right now, he's been there probably, I think, the last like 7 or 10 years. He's meeting that neighborhood in an amazing, like, it also gives me a really positive taste for the Catholic Church. This he's just the man. He looks like he needs to look. He speaks Spanish like he needs to speak Spanish. He loves like he's supposed to be loving. Like it's a thriving, like, kingdom outpost. Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So
that's a good one. Yeah.
That's my third.
Yeah.
Just being humbled at Presbytery.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right, B, we gotta get rolling.
Yeah. So my next one is it starts out with, we've just had to, as with most church ministries, we're having trouble retaining and getting volunteers, and so I was given the suggestion to send out a survey to all my past volunteers and ask, what was it like to volunteer for this ministry, and get some real feedback. And it's anonymous, so they can be honest and yada yada. And let's just say it's taken me on a roller coaster of emotions.
Oh, no.
And that some of them are really, really good. Like, they make me feel good. I mean, people are weighing in on something I love a lot, this ministry I've been doing for over 5 years. And, so it makes me feel happy. And then some of them, they're being honest, but it's hard to hear. But that's why I did the survey,
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew this was going to happen, is why I didn't want to send it. Even when I was just about to push send, I was like, oh, do I really want these feedback?
Do I really want to know?
Do I really want to know? And now I'm reading them. Every once in a while, my phone, I'll look at Gmail and I'll be like, you have a new one. I was like, oh my gosh, am I prepared for this? So I'm grateful for the feedback. I'm grateful for the news, and to be really, a lot of them are affirming of me and the ministry, which is great. But but obviously you're going to remember the one or two kind of negative things, and that's why I asked. I need to work on that stuff. But I'm grateful, but also it's sent me up and down the last couple of days, and I just need to find my footing again and my foundation for why I do this, and they're just helping me figure out how to do it better. So anyway, that's been a learning lesson for me this past couple days, and yeah, I couldn't not put it on my list because it's affecting my waking moments.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, that's that one. Volunteer survey coming through.
Oh man, that's good that you get to do that though, or that you are doing it. How do you? Yeah. What's the software you use for anonymous?
Google Forms. You don't have, even if you're signed into Gmail, it won't tell the person who it is.
You can do it anonymously.
They'll do it anonymously.
That's a good tip.
Yeah. So
that's probably something that's worth doing every 2 or 3 years, no matter what, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had never done it. It was a suggestion from a ministry that does very well with their volunteers around here. Side by Side, I've talked to them about them before. Yeah. And they said, after every event, we send out a survey. And I was like, oh, I don't know.
Event, that feels like a lot.
I know, but that's how they know for next year. They only have 2 big ones a year. So.
That should make sense.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's it.
It is. That's something to be grateful for and sorry about. Like on the level of, I'm sorry that they need anonymity to tell us the truth. It's like that for me. Like I know that they do, and I'm not like begrudging them that. I just, as the church, it'd be awesome if we were able to tell each other the truth enough that we wouldn't have to have anonymous surveys. But but I still care about the truth more than anonymity, though. So whatever, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'm with. The one I have kind of falls similar to that, I guess. In some ways, it's I wrote it down as God's providential planning, but like in the summer, we go through and plan out our year, like preaching schedule and stuff. And so I had planned we were going to do 2 weeks in Esther, and so I taught on Esther last week, and then this week we had a guest speaker that we had signed up like in August to do it, and it was just like. It was one of those I told you last time about losing our student leader Alan, Maya, and so we went all last week, and we were like, just like you put your head down and you get through the week. We went over to El Paso for the funeral and all that stuff, and I'll talk about that in a little bit too. But this would have been like the worst week to try to preach, and it was like it was just one of those amazing like, oh, we have this guest speaker that we had already lined up in August. No idea why we would need her, but she came in and knocked it out. She did great, and so it was just. I don't know. It's really stunning when that stuff works. Like it's easy to look at it and say, yeah, well, you planned it out, right? Or it's easy to look at it and say, this is God's providence or whatever. But whatever it is, like however you want to hear it, I like to think that God was taking care of us from a distance, like from earlier in the year, setting us up to succeed. And it just ended up being really important for this week to be able to have that time. So
that's awesome. That's cool.
For that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think my 4 is it rained last night. It's just LA, it doesn't happen. And it just brought me back to Michigan and the good parts, and praising God for my adventure there. And then also I just when it rains in Los Angeles, I think of Pearl Jam's Wash. That song.
Oh man, that's such a I do know that.
These streets are so dirty. I just feel like LA, since it happens so rarely, it becomes like a special thing.
Yeah.
It's a neat thing.
We finally got it to stop raining here.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Like Texas, it had been raining for like weeks. This is the first week it hasn't.
Wow.
Really, it's been so crazy. So here I had this like I don't know if it's a teaching point or whatever, but B, do you understand like water cycles?
I've
the
seen
basic
the diagrams before.
Yeah. So like, and the premise is all the water that's in the world is already in the world.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like
dinosaur water.
Yeah. So, but when we get rain for like 3 weeks straight, it means somewhere else is not getting enough rain. But like, or then like when hurricanes come and bring in rain or whatever, like it strikes me like when Paul talks about like giving money in the church, he has the same kind of idea that like essentially the church has everything it needs all the time. It just needs to share that the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you have what you need for the kingdom of God. And it's straight, like rain is the same thing in our world, where like when we feel like we don't have enough, then we're in a drought. When we have too much, then we're in flooding or storms or whatever. But if everybody gets the right amount evened out, that's how it's supposed to work. Like the amount of rain doesn't change. It's just when and where you get it, right? So anyway. That's my thought.
I love that. And let me knock out my 5, and then because mine 5 is connected to that, is we're going to the Holy Lands, my wife and I.
What?
And my work in February, and my work is paying for me, but we're raising support for my wife, and that's all, because you have to raise like $3,000, to get her over there and with us and stuff. And it's just cool to see God's church, I send out these letters and say, hey, pray for us, and if you have any money, send us. And there's like this one dude, Don Maddox. He's retired, doesn't make much. He's used to be he's collecting Social Security or whatever, and Peace USA stuff. He's living he's a retired Presbyterian minister, and he circled back and just sent us a little more money. Like you sent some money out of the gate, and then he sent some more a little later, and it was just, I don't know. It's just like you were just talking about. I love when that happens. I love when God shows us, he's got us. There's no reason to doubt. Anyway, so that's my 5.
All right, Jason's done. Jason, thanks for being on the podcast. We'll talk to you next week.
Go.
Good talk. Good talk.
Good talk.
That's a good, I don't know. I like that imagery though, because I love atmospheric sciences, and I mean, obviously it rains a lot in Seattle, and I like that.
If you want to use that, you're welcome to do it. I have not copyrighted it.
No, kids don't get analogies like that. Are you kidding me?
2 Corinthians 8 is the spot you want to live with that illustration, by the way.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I think I'm gonna set you up for one of yours, Greg. I don't know, but
we're talking. I like it. Let's see.
I know. Well, I'm reading a book right now called From Here to Eternity, and every chapter, this woman, she runs a funeral home in LA, and every chapter she's going to a different culture and seeing how they do funerals and death. Yeah. Because she thinks it's just totally, it's just not a good system here in the U.S. It's all about finances and not a lot about family time and the grieving process. And I think we can pretty much agree with that. And she's not a believer. This is all just technical. And so she's going from culture to culture and seeing like how they do it. And some of them are better and some of them are worse. But it's just so interesting to see her being like traveling the world, and I just get so into what's going on in the US. You forget, like, people have been doing this since the beginning of human time. Let's get some ideas. Let's let's shake it up a little about how can we do this better. We've pretty much figured out the worst way to do it. And anyway, so I'm not done with it yet. I don't think it's going to take any crazy turns or anything, but I do recommend this book. It's called From Here to Eternity by Caitlin. I wrote it down. Dowdy, I think. Nice. Yeah, Caitlin Dowdy. And and some of them some of them are in the US, and they're good, good examples of community coming together around American funerals as well. It's not all just bashing on the US system. But anyway, I recommend it. So far, it's very, very good.
That absolutely dovetails into the one I was going to do. Yeah. So
Caitlin Dowdy, Caitlin.
Perfect.
Excellent.
All right. So mine, I said I went over to El Paso for a funeral. Firstly, I will never make that drive again.
Gosh, I've done that one.
It's the worst. But we did that.
Everybody's like,
on the 10.
Anybody who's made it knows that's true. It's just like, but it was really good. It ended up being really good. It was really important. There's a couple of things, like just takeaways from it, that have been like rattling around in my brain. And one of them is that the amazing sort of hospitality of people and people in the church, particularly around when there's that much grieving and mourning. And so that was like, we had talked about it last week a little bit, and that's kind of the role of the church. But then to watch it play out, and to be the person, or to be one of the people that's being cared for, is different than the role I'm normally in that scenario. And so that was really cool. And we've had a lot of students for a long time come from El Paso to UIW and to St. Mary's in particular. And so it was just pretty amazing to be in El Paso and to start to connect some dots and to see some families and make some of these connections that we've had for a long time. So that was really, really crazy. And the other big takeaway for me, and I don't know what to do about this one yet, is so Alan passed away, and when he did, like when he was with us, he led worship, he led Bible studies, all this stuff. But when I went to his funeral, his whole funeral is in Spanish. And I realized like he had been doing all of that leading for us in English, which wasn't even like his first worship language. And it's like, when you think about these kids that are just like so ridiculously gifted at this stuff, and he's not the only kid that we've had from El Paso who does this. And like, we try to do some things where we work in like Spanish choruses on stuff and things like that. But it's just like, the takeaway for me was just, I cannot, like, it was so hard for me to be there at his funeral, which was all in Spanish, and have, like, I knew some of the songs because the songs were the same songs we sing in English, but with Spanish translations. So I was like, I kind of knew what was going on, but to be able to get good enough at it, to be able to lead other people to Jesus and to help them encounter Jesus in a language that's not even your first language is pretty stunning. Like, and we ask that of our students all the time. So I don't know what to do with that yet, but that's that observation has been like rattling in my brain, because it's a pretty amazing, it's a crazy thing we ask students that we never realized we were asking them, you know?
Yeah.
That's like, how did I knew you spoke Spanish, but it never occurred to me like the jump I'm asking you to make. It just seemed like a normal thing. So anyway, I don't know. I got to think about that one some more, but
awareness is key, because now you'll think about it when you're asking people to do liturgy or. Yeah.
So now I just won't let Spanish speakers do it.
Oh my gosh, Brad.
That's probably not. That's probably not it. That's probably not the right takeaway.
That's the lesson. Okay, got me good. I'll go on to the next one, which is just a movie I had heard about on Netflix. So I finally sat down and watched it the other day, and it's a what do you call those? Romantic comedy, teenagers in high school, called "To All the Boys I've Loved Before." Yeah. And I thought, usually with something's getting that much hype, I usually like, everyone else is watching it, why do I need to? But I don't know, I just wanted to watch it, and it was actually very cute and very good, and I recommend it. It's
you recommend it for middle schoolers or no?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, the main character is in high school, everyone else is in high school. Obviously the premise is just based on like, if you just didn't lie, then none of this would have happened. So I don't know if I'd recommend it for middle schoolers. I think, they've obviously been exposed to way worse stuff than this stupid movie. So,
well, think about it and get back to me, because I have a middle school girl that if there's a movie that's tolerable that I can watch with her that isn't like just cutting off part of my brain.
I think it's okay. I'm trying to think if I had to spend the night. Do they rate movies on Netflix? Like, do they do PG-13 and R and stuff?
Yeah, there is a rating. I think it's like the TV rating though, but I don't know what it is.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I'm pretty sure they don't swear, and I don't know. Sure.
All right, file that away.
Just watch it.
I'm on it.
You watch it first, and you decide whether you want to.
I'm not watching it twice. That's the problem.
I'm not watching it twice.
I know that going in. That's not going to happen.
Okay.
All right, my last one's super easy. And, man, Bianca, someday this is going to happen for you. And when it does, it's going to be so exciting. You'll realize your whole life has been building to this moment. But someday the Mariners will make the playoffs.
Oh my god!
But for me, the Brewers are in the playoffs. It's amazing. Man, it's so much fun to have a reason to pay attention to the baseball playoffs. Like, it's so much better. It's so much better than regular season.
Oh gosh, I know. I had to watch the highlights yesterday from the wild card game because I have youth ministry or youth group.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I wanted to watch every minute of this game.
It's so
And
much
here I
better.
am watching like
It's so
the
much
3-minute version. It's
Yep.
just like, oh, it kills me.
If you had asked me in April, I would have told you I'm just tangentially connected to baseball. I don't really care about it anymore. It's not my thing.
October, man. That's what makes October
I sort of
great.
switched my allegiances. Like I'm all basketball and baseball now. I watch a lot of soccer.
October will do this to you.
But now the Brewers are in the playoffs, so I have I can't not watch it. It's like amazing. Every pitch you pay attention to.
I know.
It's the rest of the year baseball can be tough, but man, right now, Bianca, I promise you, someday it's gonna happen.
I know. Well, now, but also you're on my side now of like baseball can be interesting, so I kind of want too.
But here's the thing: like I think this with like music, for example. Like once in a while, somebody's like, "This is a great song," and you listen to it, like it's not a great song, and they're like, "No, it is." Just imagine you're at the beach and you're drinking a pina colada, and you hear the song come on. I was like, "Oh, wait a second! If I have to imagine I'm somewhere else for this song to be any good, then it's not that good." And that's like, just imagine your team's playing in October. It's like, okay, yeah, but it's not, like, I've been through a lot of Octobers where my team doesn't play, and baseball's not that interesting anymore. But I'm all in right now.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
I am praying that someday you get to experience.
I think I have to.
It's hard though. The intensity is crazy.
I'm gonna be gone the next 3 nights too. I can't watch any of these games. This is mad.
The Brewers game is early.
Oh really?
The Brewers play tonight at 4.
Well, I have Beyonce tonight, so.
You have tonight?
Beyonce, ever heard of her?
Yeah. What time is that?
Well, we're going out to dinner. Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah,
move on.
Listen, the Brewer game starts at 2:00 your time. That was my point.
Oh, okay. Maybe I could do it during work.
What do you think your chances are, Greg? You think you guys can get it?
Oh man, I'm trying not to get sucked in, Jason. I'm trying really hard not to think I got a shot, but I really do. Like I think we're the best team in the National League, so we have a chance. Our starting pitching is like our weak spot, but our bullpen's amazing, and our lineup is like our lineup is like a American League lineup in a lot of ways. Like we don't have a lot of dead spots anywhere, so. I don't know. We got a shot, and we beat the Cubs in the tiebreaker game. So now we didn't have to play the 1-game playoff. Now we get best of 5. Mm-hmm. So I like our chances, but it's baseball. I've never been in this spot really, so I don't even know. But it feels good. Like it feels like we might be good. And the other thing is, I had to say it this week because if we get swept, then
I know by next week you could be out.
But my hope is.
It'll break your heart.
My hope is that every week now for the next few weeks, this will be my number 5, that the Brewers are still in the playoffs. That's what it was last week. It is this week, and hopefully next week it will be too. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
Oh, I'm rooting for the Brewers, just so you know.
Yes, now we're talking. See?
Me too.
I appreciate that, you guys. This is I would never do it for you, but I do appreciate that you're doing it.
Yeah, I will. I'm not going to buy any paraphernalia or anything. But
no, don't go crazy.
Yeah.
Listen, I root for the Mariners.
Yes.
I root for them.
And look where it's gotten us. We need more people rooting for the Mariners. Pray harder, as Jason.
Oh, while we're on the topic of Seattle sports, we should probably end with this one.
NHL?
No, although that's cool.
Yeah.
What about Earl Thomas?
I know.
Jason,
sometimes it's the other guy, and sometimes it's your guy, and you just I don't know.
He broke his leg, on his way off the field. On the way carting off the field, he flipped off the Seattle bench. Because he was mad about not getting a bigger contract and stuff. It's like, that's crazy.
I know.
Sports. All right, that's well off the topics.
Yeah.
That's well off the topics of this week in gratitude. Although I did enjoy that very much.
I'm not grateful for that.
I know you're not. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out this week. Thanks for listening. Remember, subscribe, send it around, talk to some friends. And if you have things you want to connect with us on, or if there's things we didn't recommend that we should, or if you follow these recommendations and you think Bianca's got terrible taste in movies or whatever, just let us know.
Fever pitch till I die.
Oh, not even a good fever pitch. All right. I am at Outpostings on Twitter. You can get a hold of me there, or you can also follow our podcast page, which is at Week in Gratitude on Twitter. You can also find Jason and Bianca and me on Facebook and Instagram and whatnot. So thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate it. Spread the word, and we'll get Jason a hat. Talk to you next week.
Later.
Bye.